From the squalor of the Paris streets to the glamour of the worldwide stage, 50 years after her death, the great diva of la chanson française lives on. Edith Piaf is remembered and revered as much for her exceptional voice as for her extraordinary life. Let's start at the very beginning in what was once one of the poorest parts of Paris, right here in Belleville.
Balayer les amours avec leur trémolo, balayer pour toujours, je repars à zéro.
December 1915, in a working neighborhood of Paris. The birth of Edith Giovanna Gassion, the future songbird Edith Piaf.
This is the house where Edith's parents lived. Legend has it that she was actually born here on the steps of the building. But when you do the research, you find she was born in a much less interesting place, the maternity ward of the Theo hospital, not far from here. But the story is so appealing that it endures.
All but abandoned by her parents during a troubled childhood, the young Edith began earning a living singing on street corners. At just 17, she gave birth to a baby girl who died of meningitis 2 years later. In 1936, she was discovered by a nightclub owner who nicknamed her La Piaf, or Little Sparrow. That new moniker marked the beginning of her climb to stardom.
Starting in the years 1937-38 to 41, Piaf began doing big tours, then some theatre, including a piece by Jean Cocteau, and eventually film. Edith also launched the careers of several men in her life, notably Yves Montand, who was perhaps her greatest discovery.
L'année prochaine.
But her greatest love was the boxer Marcel Cerdan, with whom she had a high-profile affair. His death in a plane crash in 1949 sparked a deep depression and downward spiral for Piaf. She was seriously injured in a number of near-fatal car accidents and battled drug and alcohol abuse. While she privately struggled, her career was booming. Nearly 2 decades after La Vie en Rose, she hit gold again with I Regret Nothing, and a series of concerts at the Olympia in Paris.
Moi, c'est en chantant que je récupère.
Si vous étiez obligé d'arrêter de chanter, qu'est-ce qui se passerait?
Je vais dire un mot très horrible, mais je crois que je me suis dit.
Living and dying for song, that's the legacy of Edith Piaf. She died of liver cancer in 1963 at the age of 47 in her villa in the south of France. Her body was buried in the Père Lachaise cemetery in her hometown, Paris. Her tombstone a reminder of her talent and contributions to French music.
Her life was a biographer's dream, full of drama. But what was Edith Piaf like? What drove her? And why was this Paris park a haven for her? The answers lie with the people that knew her. In 1962, Edith Piaf married her second husband, Theo Sarapo, a Greek hairdresser turned singer and actor who was 20 years her junior. Half a century on, his sister, Christy Lhomme, laments the walks they took together in the Bois de Boulogne.
At the beginning, it was kind of a shock on the people and on my parents. They told me first, they looked at me and they said, Christy, we have to tell you something. We're getting married. It was all over the place. Newspapers, TV.
Tell us, what were they like together as a couple?
They loved each other so much. It was a love beyond their age difference. Theo was young and very handsome. Oh la la, very, very handsome. And Edith, she was a little fragile. They really didn't care of the public opinion.
And you used to walk here with Edith Piaf.
She liked it when it was quiet, when nobody was here to watch her. As soon people recognize her, she said, let's go, Christy. She loved her public, but she wanted to be in her privacy. She talked to me a lot about her little girl. And when she heard the children laughing and running, she said, let's go home, Christy. I cannot hear that. And I felt like to hug her and to take away from her that pain.
You knew her really at the end of her life. Do you think that she knew that she was coming to the end?
Yeah, she felt it. Sometimes she felt it, and sometimes she forgot about it. She was so in love.
L'amour ne s'explique pas, c'est une chose comme ça. Dans la ville inconnue, soir et matin.
Another old friend that remembers Edith Piaf with fondness is this guy, the Paris music venue, the Olympia. In 1961, she relaunched her career here with a string of 90 concerts over 3 months, which also saved the sinking music venue. The seats were full of fans who'd come to hear her latest hits. Je ne regrette rien, written by Charles Dumont. Tell us the story behind this song.
It's a wonderful story. I went to Edith's house and she said to me, "Listen, young man, don't worry anymore, I'm going to record this song. I'm going to make a comeback at the Olympia with it. This song will be a huge success and it'll stay with you all your life." She was not only a divine voice and a great performer, but she could sense what was coming. Because after this song, thanks to Edith, I toured the world with a visitor's pass titled Charles Dumont, Edith Piaf's composer. I could never thank her enough.
What made this song so unique?
I think it came just at the right moment. People were saying that she wasn't going to sing anymore, that her memory had gone. She said it herself. This song brought her back to life. And for the public, it was Edith's resurrection. And that's why she shouted to the whole world, "I don't regret a thing. Good things, bad things, I don't care. I sang, I was happy, and I brought happiness to others. I regret nothing."
Long before selling out the Olympia, Edith Piaf would roam the red light district of Pigalle and Montmartre, the centre of Paris's cabaret scene. This was one of the central locations of the 2007 Oscar-winning film La Vie en Rose. Piaf was played by Marion Cotillard.
Mais ce que les gens pensent de vous, ça m'est égal.
But her songs were sung by Gilles Aigreau, who still slips into the singer's shoes several times a week for her show. On the steps of Paris's Sacré-Cœur, she told me about her magical voice.
Edith Piaf's voice is indescribable because it's so warm, so strong, so energy, so emotional, and it's too much.
So when did you decide that you were going to impersonate Edith Piaf?
I decided when the audience asked to me, please sing Edith Piaf's song. I was not very enthusiastic to do it because I was afraid to be put in a box, Edith Piaf's voice only.
What do you have to do to get under her skin?
I put my black dress, and I remember all I have known about Edith Piaf by reading or by persons who has known Edith Piaf I met during this year, and it's enough.
What do you like about Edith Piaf, this character?
I like the voice. I like the person. She was funny. She was funny. She likes to do jokes. I like the energy she had.
With Oscar-winning films about her and squares named after her, like here at Place Edith Piaf, she is perhaps Paris's most famous daughter. Having made 10 tours of America and many more of Europe, she became known worldwide as the voice of France. And for many, she still is.
Comme il y avait l'autre, il y en avait une sympa quand j'étais barman. Ma patronne, elle chantait souvent, c'était moi j'essuie des verres au fond du bistrot.
Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien.
Allez, venez, Milord, vous asseoir à ma table.
50 years after her death, even if not everyone knows her songs by heart, Edith Piaf has certainly not been forgotten. Her memory lives on in her throng of fans and collectors. Some were very young when she died, others were not even born. But that's not stopped them from wanting a piece of the Piaf legacy.
Here's the dress she wore during her season at the Olympia in '58. She performed in it 100 times.
2 generations after her death, Piaf is still a hit on the stage. In France, there are countless tribute shows.
C'est pas seulement ta gueule que j'aime, mais ton âme.
She's extraordinary in that her image and music are being used across the industry, in cinema, advertising, background music, and obviously songs too. Young performers from all sorts of musical backgrounds sing Piaf these days.
It's not just young artists, the well-established too are giving their career the Piaf touch. Patricia Cass recently devoted an album to the singer, followed by a successful world tour.
Edith Piaf is known everywhere in the world. Whether in remote China or anywhere else, everyone knows her. They know 1, 2, 3 songs depending on the country, maybe a bit more in the US.
Proof of her lasting legacy, this show, which brought together around 20 French and English-speaking artists in September. A tribute played to a full house in New York. It seems France and the world alike is in no danger of forgetting Edith Piaf anytime soon.
Having made her name international, Edith Piaf represented above all France to the French. And 40,000 people joined her funeral procession before she was laid here to rest at the Père Lachaise cemetery. Her friend, artist and poet John Cocteau said that she'd burned herself up in the flames of her glory. Now, 50 years on, people everywhere are remembering the little sparrow who sang herself to death.